to our training. Today we're going to be doing the webinar training on the Rural Neighbors SIWL. That stands for Simplified Issue Whole Life with Rural Neighbors of America. Rural Neighbors is a phenomenal company. We always talk about identifying companies that want the business, that support our partnered agents, in this industry. And, Rural Neighbors is truly one of those companies. As a matter of fact, later, just to update you, they're doing a webinar on their Jet Term product at 2 p.m. Central. So you can just make it a day of Rural Neighbors if you want to. Again, they have great products. They're competitively priced. Everybody wants the best price. You're going to be able to do that with these products. But even more importantly, their products are designed to meet the challenges of the clients that we run into on a daily basis. Everyone is going to have some type of medical challenge in some shape, form, or fashion in most cases that you run into, especially, in your senior and final expense markets. And the product that we have here with Rural Neighbors, again, is a phenomenal product, and I'll get into some of that here shortly. Real quick, on the right-hand side, you'll see the webinar menu. In there, you'll see handouts, and you'll find handouts with the agent guide, that has details of the parameters of the product, which I'll go into here shortly. You'll also find the client brochure, and then with that, you'll also find the point of sale worksheet. And this is what allows you to gather the information before you do the telephone interview. That way you can keep it a very short and sweet telephone interview. You can get that done in about 20 minutes now is what they average. And, they pay commissions, within 48 hours of business days of approval, business hours of approval. So, great company. And we're going to go ahead and get into what they have to offer now. Rural Neighbors, they talk about offering insurance with a difference, and what's neat about that, and what's neat about Rural Neighbors, of course, they have the stability to support that. They are a not-for-profit fraternal organization, so that allows them to offer additional member benefits. And, they've been around for over 120 years providing insurance, and benefits to their members, not just insurance, but also the benefits as well. And, so this allows clients to, really benefit from the advantages of having the member benefits as above and beyond just the life insurance. Most companies are just going to offer you coverage, just the life coverage and, maybe some riders or something like that. But having access to the additional member benefits can, be a big bonus, to your clients' community, and even to you yourself, as an agent with them. You can take advantage of these member benefits as well. And, they really have a way to connect and make a difference. Rural Neighbors, they were one of the first, or pretty much the first insurance carrier to provide life insurance for women in the United States. So, they have that great history, and, they're Rural Neighbors of America, the chapters, they bring together business women, retirees, stay-at-home moms, and others to celebrate women's diversity and foster their strengths. And through these chapters, members have opportunities to network, meet others, socialize, and, mobilize and help improve lives of people and also their community. And, they have planning programs, health, financial wellness, personal enrichment, leadership skills. And the chapters that Rural Neighbors put together, they strive to enrich the local communities. They'll educate women on issues that matter to them the most and support worthy causes. If you have something that means a lot to you, or someplace that you want to support, something that you want to support, you can bring that to vote to the local chapter, and you can, earn support for their cause. And, so they really are a different kind of insurance company. As their mission statement says, we do more than just sell insurance. We exist for the benefit of our members. Giving back is part of our 120-year history and part of our DNA. We call it insurance with a difference. And, again, it really is. And we're going to talk about, some of those additional member benefits here. Again, they have different things that are included in their member benefits package, but, some of those things like health and wellness discounts, dental care, vision services, a lot of health plans these days unfortunately have high deductibles, so you can take care of some health discounts that could possibly help out with that. Labs and imaging, maybe you could get some of that done less than you could take care of a deductible. And, so again, a great benefit there. Legal services, access to free or discounted legal services. They do free wills and stuff like that. Again, you can take advantage of that. Retail benefits. I'm sure there's some people here that like to shop. I'm sure you have some clients that like to shop. By having a membership here, you can take advantage of savings, up to 40% cash back, incentives, instant rewards for shopping online, and more than 4,000 retailers, including cell phones, fitness. I mean, you can get a discount, with your cell carrier, and depending on area and stuff like that. So it's phenomenal. Scholarships. 27 grants valued at more than $170,000 awarded annually to both traditional and non-traditional students, and they've awarded more than $4 million since 1962. So you can apply for scholarship funds and receive those. They have paternal aid, provides financial assistance when disaster strikes. When Hurricane Katrina hit, many years back, they provided, great assistance, and even natural disasters since then, they provided assistance. They call themselves a nation of neighbors. They empowering determined women of strength and courage with financial assistance to achieve their full potential, realize a sense of renewed personal growth, and give back to their communities. Again, very, proactive and empowering, women in their communities, and providing that additional support, the voting privileges that people, can take advantage of and have. The members can vote on and have a direct voice in the governance of their organization, and by voting on the board of directors, you can vote, you can even be voted for as a part of the board of directors. If you want to really help out in your community, get on the board of directors and bring things to them that, that you want to support. And you'll be surprised at, the things that they'll do to reach out and help out you in the community. So, again, phenomenal carrier. When we talk about insurance with the difference, that's just some of the many ways that they provide insurance with the difference. Their member benefits, along with their client service, and their agent support, their client support. Great carrier. I can't stress it enough. And, again, we want to partner with products, especially in the markets that we're in, that support the markets and that want the business, and they really do. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the parameters of the Simplified Issue Whole Life product with Royal Neighbors. It's good to know this product. The good thing about the final expense product, the Simplified Issue Whole Life product with Royal Neighbors, is and this is the case with most of your final expense products, is they're pretty basic. They're pretty easy to learn. There's not much more to it. They're not designed for cash value building purposes, although they do build cash value. That's not what they were designed for. They were designed to provide the financial resources for families in time of need. When loss of a loved one, it's hard to come up with $10,000 or $15,000 to pay for a funeral, just out of nowhere. And but it's a lot easier for someone to pay $50 or $60 a month to make sure that their family has those financial resources. And as you can see here, the issue ages are from 50 to 85. Again, an age last birthday. So what that means is if someone's 65 and they're about to be 66, in the next few days, well, you can give them a quote. You can cover them at the age 65 because it's their last birthday. And the face amounts, you can cover between $5,000 and $25,000. Average policies are, between $10,000 and $15,000. That's was the average face amount. That's about the average face amount that I write and that I see come through. So you're going to be able to, again, cover a majority of your clients. If someone wants more than $25,000, we have products. We can definitely take care of that. We can easily direct them accordingly. But again, more than likely, looking for simple final expense coverage, you're going to be able to get them taken care of with those face amounts. Mode of payment. Now, the premiums can be paid monthly. That is the preferred method. That's what allows you to do the application over the phone. That's what allows you to get paid within 48 hours. Now, they do have a quarterly billing option, semi-annually, or pre-authorized collection. And again, that's how you normally want to set it up when you do the application over the phone, is through a PAC form. But again, they can be billed quarterly or semi-annually or on an annual basis. Now, if they are billed anything other than monthly, on a monthly PAC, then you would actually have to do a paper application, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly. Now, health medical requirements, this is one of the highlights. This is why we love this product. Simplified issue. Guys, when you're out there sitting down with your client and you take an application and you ask them the medical questions and turn that into the insurance company, you want that to be the pretty much the last step in getting that client approved. You don't want to take an application, have to contact an examiner, to contact your client, to go out, draw blood, draw urine, do a medical exam to try to get them approved for the coverage. You want a simplified issue product where you simply ask them a few medical questions, turn that in, and get a decision in a matter of days or instantly with Royal Neighbors, instantly. You know, this is very important. Again, the market that we're working in, you know, these people, the need came up from something. Something happened in their life that made them think about, I need to get my final expense insurance taken care of. I need to make sure that my family's not left. Maybe they just experienced the loss of a loved one and had to help pay for their funeral, and they don't want to leave their family in that same situation. So they're going to get their coverage taken care of because it's important to them at that point. So when you're able to get that client covered right away and get that policy in their hand right away, and they got that security blanket again right away, knowing that they're taken care of, and instead of, as opposed to doing doing an application and then having to wait for the examiner and hoping that they have good results from the exam, and then once that goes to the labs, having to wait for them to do their due diligence at the lab company, send it back to the insurance company, and then they have to get more medical records from the doctor. I mean, that process takes, can take 60 days, sometimes longer. So if you're working with the product that you can get the client approved and get paid right away, is that not the ideal situation as opposed to, putting your client through a medical exam? So again, we really love simplified issue products, simplified issue market. Now, here it's risk classes. They have male, female rates. Your males are going to pay a little bit more for their coverage than your females, so just be mindful of that. If you have, a husband and wife that are both 65 years old, well, the premium's not going to be the same for both of them. It's going to be less, for the female. There's also tobacco and non-tobacco ratings, and that's based on life expectancy. And then there's also tobacco and non-tobacco ratings. So again, if someone uses tobacco, they're going to pay a little bit higher premium than someone who's a non-tobacco user. Now, they also have available riders. One rider that's available that actually is pretty much included at no cost, but it must be issued at the time of the application, so I'll always include this, is the Accelerated Living Benefit Rider. This is going to give them access to a portion of the death benefit before they pass away, which means they can use it for terminal condition or permanent confinement to nursing home. And again, it's available from ages 50 to 85, just like the product, and it must be issued at the time of the application. And there's no additional premium for this. Now, be mindful of your state. In some states, it may not be available, but in most states, it is. Now, qualifying events, basically, when the insured has been continuously confined to a nursing home for 90 days, and its physician-certified confinement is expected to be permanent. So if they've been put into a nursing home and it's expected to be permanent, then they can access, a portion of that life policy. When the insured is diagnosed by a physician as having a terminal condition and a life expectancy of 12 months or less, they can then access up to 75% of the eligible death benefit. Now, the reason they had this, a minimum of $5,000, a maximum in aggregated of all certificates is $250,000 as a single payment. The minimum base amount must be $7,000. So again, they must have, at least $7,000 so they can get up to 75%. And if they have other insurance with Royal Neighbors, the maximum they can get is up to $250,000. So they may have a $500,000 term life policy, and then that hasn't run out yet, and then also taking advantage of a final expense policy, and something happens, they can actually get up to 75%, up to $250,000. So again, a great benefit to have there. Now, with Royal Neighbors of America, their graded policy works a little different. What I just talked about, their immediate death benefit, that product is available right away. It's day one coverage. As soon as you get your client approved, their coverage is effective immediately. There's no waiting period. Now, if your client's health does not permit them to be approved for the immediate death benefit, maybe their medical challenge is so extreme, and they had to answer yes to one of the first few questions, and they qualify for the simplified issue whole life graded death benefit. There's still a great benefit with Royal Neighbors product, because most graded benefit products only pay either 5% or 10% plus return of premiums, which means it's within the first 2 years. So, which means the client gets the coverage, and it's not going to pay the full death benefit if something happens to them in the first 2 years, but it will return their premiums plus 5 or 10%, depending on what company you use. Now, with Royal Neighbors, their graded death benefit product will actually pay a portion of the death benefit. It will pay 30% of the face amount in the first year. So again, this is a better product than most products out there. And then 70% of the face amount in the second year. Again, if that's 70% of the death benefit, is going to be a lot more than 10% plus return of premiums. And then if it's a death due to an accident, they're going to pay 100% of the premiums, so 100% of the death benefit. So again, they have a great graded death benefit product. It's from $5,000 to $10,000, but again, it pays a higher amount. Again, most companies, are only paying 5 or 10% plus return on the premiums that the client paid for the coverage. So it's still a good deal, because you're not going to get 5 or 10% from your bank or anywhere else that you would stick that money, but and set it aside. But even more so with Royal Neighbors, because of the fact that you're getting a portion of the death benefit and not just your premiums return plus a 5 or 10%. So again, we're a really strong graded death benefit product with Royal Neighbors. Some of the product benefits and highlights, again, you heard me mention this earlier, it's an affordable product for final expense planning. Most people would much rather pay $50 or $60 a month than have to worry about their family having to come up with $10,000 or $15,000 all at once. People are even opting, you've heard me say this, to become cremated because funerals are so expensive, and they know that that's going to be more feasible for their family to come up with. Again, it's a simple yes or no application. No medical exam. They just have to answer yes or no to the questions. That's going to let us know if they're approved for the coverage or not. Level guaranteed premiums. That's important. A lot of programs that you may see on TV or what have you, or hear about, get your guaranteed assurance coverage or something. Those are either they're graded products, or they only guarantee the premium for a certain period of time. So you want to be mindful of that. You want to put your clients in the best situation that they qualify for. If your client is, maybe had a heart attack 2 or 3 years ago, or whatever the case may be, they still qualify for an immediate death benefit product. They don't have to get a graded death benefit. And so many people think, oh gosh, I've had this medical challenge or this occur. I'm probably not eligible for life insurance. And lo and behold, they are. They're eligible for the premier product. So again, let's utilize these products and this knowledge that we have to put our clients in a better situation that they would go put themselves in based on something they saw on TV or something that they got somewhere else. So, again, realize that you have really strong products for your clients compared to anything that's out there. Again, immediate and graded death benefits available. I covered some of the highlights of their graded death benefit compared to others. Underwriting via telephone interview at point of sale. Again, you're not going to have to leave the home with the application and wonder if you're going to get the client approved or not. Now, a lot of products, that's what we have to do, but with this particular product, we don't. We can get that approval right there in the home. That's very important. And the certificate being issued the next day and the agent paid quickly, we got to love that. And members gain access to the member benefits. That's another bonus. That's another benefit that you can talk about with your clients that other agents cannot talk about because they don't have that. And again, it's a carrier you will enjoy writing for. We love Royal Neighbors. We love the support that they provide. I love it when I can call Royal Neighbors with a question, and the person that I get on the phone is more than likely able to help me. They don't have to transfer me to a different department. They don't have to put me on hold. I don't have to wait on hold before I get a live body on the phone for an hour or get the message, we're sorry, all of our representatives are busy. Please leave your name and number and someone will get back to you in the next 24 hours. No, you're going to get someone on the phone that's going to be able to help you, that's going to be able to answer that question so you can get that taken care of and immediately guide your client to what's best for them. So again, you'll enjoy writing for them, and of course it's good for your community. We talked about that. We talked about the chapters, the member benefits, and what you can do to join the chapters and what you can do to benefit your community and the scholarships that they have. It's just phenomenal all the way around a good company. Now, running quotes with Royal Neighbors is very simple. You're going to go to rnaquickquote.org. You can run quotes from your smartphone. You can run quotes from your tablet or your computer, of course. Now, I used to run quotes often from my computer. I would have software installed on my computer. I'd take my computer into the home. Now, I can just go to rnaquickquote.org. I can do it from my smartphone, and that's what I do. Many of you have heard me say when I go in to do my final expense presentations, I don't go in with a big old bag or anything. I go in with just, a folder, a copy of maybe the mailer that they sent back to me, and the application and what I need to fill out the application, just a simple folder and some simple paperwork. I don't have a big bag, look like I'm moving in. So to be able to use my smartphone to run the quote makes my load that much lighter. I don't have to carry a laptop in. Now I can go in, I can quickly, run my quotes. I don't look like I'm moving in. I've already told them it's only going to be, 10 or 15 minutes to see what they qualify for. So they see me coming up and they recognize that. So again, running quotes is very easy with Royal Neighbors. We're going to run through it real quick. So you'll simply go to rnaquickquote.org. As you're here at rnaquickquote.org, you'll go to the calculator. This is where you're going to run your quotes. Now, let's just say we're looking at someone who's 60 years old. They are a non-smoker. This person's female. And since I'm in Texas, we're just going to go ahead and run the quote in Texas. So basically, you're setting up on this first page the information of your client, the parameters of your client, the age, if they're a tobacco user or not, male or female in the state that they're located, and you simply hit next. As you hit next and you go on, you're going to have your options here. Now, you'll notice they have a few options here. They have a whole life product, which is from $25,000 to over $9 million. They have a single premium whole life product. Then they have what we're looking for, the SIWL, and you'll notice from $5,000 to $25,000. So this is the product that we want to look at. And if you have someone that needs the graded death benefit, here's the graded from $5,000 to $10,000, and then if you're offering a term, here's the term. Of course, today we're training on the simplified issue whole life, so we're going to click here, SIWL from $5,000 to $25,000. Now here's where we're going to put in the amount of coverage that they're looking for. So of course you've gone in, you've greeted the client, you sat down, you've identified the need, you know why you're there, it's about fitting it in their budget. So we're going to put together some options for this client. I always do normally a good, better, or best type of scenario, so I may give them something, and my middle option is normally around $50 a month. So in this particular case, let's just see what $10,000 starts us off at for this client that's 60 years old. So this client for $10,000 is $36.51, so that may be my first option. So I'm just going to write down $10,000, $36.51. I'm going to come back over here. Let's see what $15,000 is. $15,000 is $53.46. Okay, and then I'll go back here and maybe $20,000. Here we go. You'll see the face amount over here is $20,000. You have your premium over here. This is how much it costs. And then, of course, the parameters of your client. That way you can confirm. So that way if you're sitting there quoting someone who's female and you see male here, you'll know, oh, wait a minute, I need to go back and correct that. My premium's too high. But again, for $20,000, so I'm taking note of this. So now I have my good, better, and best. I've just looked at 10, 15, and 20,000. And so with that, I'm able to give them a quote, simply turn over my quote sheet, give it to them, and let them make a decision. But you can see how easy it is to run multiple options. Now, if you need to go back for whatever, say you're quoting a husband and wife and you just ran the quotes for the wife, you want to go back and run quotes for the husband, you can simply go here, change it to male, change the age, maybe the husband's a little older in this case, and go back and select the same product, and then you're back at selecting your parameter or the coverage amount, and you're running your calculations. So hopefully you can see how easy it is to run quotes for your clients through the Royal Neighbors product. And again, you can run these quotes from your smartphone, from your tablet, or from your computer. And so bookmark this in your phone if you're using your phone. You'll always have access to run quotes for your clients very easily. Now, taking the application is easy and simple with Royal Neighbors. Again, you've heard me say that before, but the number one way to take an application for Royal Neighbors for the Simplified Issue Whole Life product is voice signature application by phone. Now, you do have a paper application when the voice signature is not available, and we'll kind of cover the times when it would not possibly be available. Now, voice signature application versus paper, you really want to use the voice signature application all the time. I'll go into this a little bit more, but just kind of a bird's eye view, the only times that you wouldn't want to use it, you'll notice down below, I have the 3 times that are highlighted. When the owner and payer are different from the proposed insured, meaning that someone else owns it, someone else is paying for it, and those 2 are different from the person that's actually being insured. Or your applicant plans to pay premiums by check, quarterly, semi-annually, or annual billing. Again, they're not doing a monthly pack. Or your applicant needs an interpreter. Unfortunately, right now, Royal Neighbors does not have interpreters set up. I believe they're going to have Spanish interpreters set up here soon. We're anticipating that very soon. But in the meantime, know that you can conduct the call between 8 and 9 p.m. Central. So, they have some pretty long hours for you to make sure you get that in. So, if it's during the day, you can get it done, or if it's in the evening, you can get it done. Then they're also available on Saturday from 8 to 2 p.m. on Saturday. So, the good thing about the final expense market is this is a market that's normally done during the daytime throughout the week. And if you need to get to your client on a weekend, you have, the weekend Saturday from 8 to 2 p.m. Central. Now, you need to complete the business in a single visit with an immediate decision at point of sale. Now, here's what's great. Average call took about 25 minutes. They've actually shortened that. Now, average call takes about 20 minutes. And, so you and your applicant, you agree to complete the application by phone using the voice signature process, and you give or email your applicant a copy of the important information form. This is basically disclosure stating that your applicant is doing a voice signature application over the phone. They're going to be giving voice signatures. And so this is notifying them of that. And you can either, I always keep these with me, that way I can just hand them to my client, or you can keep them set up in maybe a folder in your email account, maybe a template that you can just automatically email out to your client the important information disclosure. The reason you want to give this to your client is because one of the first things that occurs when you call in to do the phone application is they're going to ask, have you received the important information disclosures from your agent? And they can say yes if you've given them to them or emailed them to them. Now, if the owner and payer are the same, of course, as the proposed insured, which means the person who's insured is also paying for it and also owns it. Very rarely will you have a situation where this is different, but sometimes you may have someone who wants to own the policy, or sometimes you may have a situation where the bank account is in only one of their names or something like that, and the payer is different. Now, if they're both there, if the payer is there with the insured, say the husband and wife is there, and for some reason the husband's going to use the wife's account to pay for the policy, she's in charge of everything as far as accounts payable, you can still do that over the phone because both of them are present. Basically, he's available to give his voice signature as the insured, and she is available to give the voice signature as the payer, or vice versa. Now, your applicant does not need a translator, or if your applicant plans to pay premiums by electronic funds. Now, prepaid debit cards are not accepted, but they can set up, electronic funds through EFT. Now, if you're splitting commissions, both agents must be on the phone. So you can call the agent, conference them in, and do that if you need to. But both agents need to be on the phone if you're splitting commissions. Again, just like the insured has to do a voice signature, the payer has to do a voice signature. Well, also the agents have to do a voice signature. Now, again, you'll use the paper application. Now, this here, it says when you're taking application outside of available interview times, you know what I do? I still collect the point of sale. Because there is a telephone interview anyway with this process, so if you do a paper application, you still have to have the client do a telephone interview. So instead of doing the paper application, I do the point of sale worksheet, and I let the client know I will be contacting you during normal business hours to conduct a telephone interview. What we're going to do, we're basically going to call in, and they're going to ask you the same medical questions that I asked you. They just need to verify that from you. And so I'm going to be giving you a call Monday. You know, maybe you're there Saturday afternoon after 2 or something like that. And so in that case, I'm still going to do the voice signature application. Now, you cannot give or email a copy of the important information disclosures. It's a lot easier to have that on you than it is a paper application. So hopefully you're not in that situation, or hopefully you have your template set up that you can easily email it to them if you ran out of copies, or hopefully you keep enough copies with you as you left your house the day to go see your clients, and you can simply give that to them. You know, again, you want to do everything you can to get the application done over the phone, because that's what's going to get your client approved immediately, and that's what's going to get your commissions deposited within 48 hours. And again, I covered this earlier, you know, if the owner and payer are different from the proposed insured, or if your applicant plans to pay premiums by check other than PAC, or if your applicant needs an interpreter. And again, if you're splitting commission, both agents need to be on the phone. Now, the basic steps for completing the voice application, you know, of course, step 1, all applicants must be pre-qualified. Again, in the handouts, you have the point of sale worksheet. That's what you're going to use to pre-qualify your client. So before you even give them quotes, you want to pre-qualify them. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know, of course, you know, we know why I'm here today. You know, we want to make sure, you know, that Sue, your daughter, is not left with, you know, the unforeseen thought of having thousands and thousands of dollars of final expenses just dumped in her lap to take care of your burial. So, you know, we're going to find something, you know, that best fits in the budget. So not only am I here for you to get you protected, but I'm also here for her to make sure that she has those financial resources. So let's make sure she's taken care of and you're taken care of by it fitting in your budget. So you've qualified your client, and I'm going to go through a few medical questions to see which direction we're going to take you. And so you ask the medical questions. And by asking these medical questions, this is going to help you direct your client. Now, this is very important. You've heard this. I've done this in my in-home presentation training. If for some reason you go through the medical questions and they don't qualify for the simplified issue whole life product, that's not a problem. We have guaranteed issue products. You simply let your client know, Mrs. Client or Mr. Client, this is what you qualify for. You don't want to tell your clients, oh, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for this. But we can possibly do this for you, because just as soon as you say you don't qualify for this, you're done. They'll shut you down. Anything else you say after that, it's Charlie Brown's teacher. So make sure that you're stating it differently. You know, Mrs. Client, here's what you qualify for, and show them, and of course explain to them what they qualify for. Now, when qualifying your applicant, you've done this, you've gone through the pre-qualification sheet, you see that they qualify, you've gathered a little bit of information, you've verified their identity, you know that this person is who they say they are, and you know, we've already kind of covered, you know, the people that are not eligible to apply. You know, if someone doesn't have a social, unfortunately they cannot apply if they're not a U.S. citizen, or if they're not, you know, if they're mentally incompetent or not able to make a valid contract or complete the telephone interview, you know, for whatever reason, or if they've been previously declined for another Royal Neighbors product. Now, very rarely will you run into this, and you may not even know it, but if someone indicates to you, oh, well, I applied for a Royal Neighbors this product not too long ago, and they didn't accept me, you know, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to direct them to another product. But again, rarely will you run into that. Or someone who's prescribed a medication on the prescription indicator list. Make sure and go to Royal Neighbors website. Many of you have received the welcome letter. If you're contracted with Royal Neighbors, go to their website and download the prescription list. This is going to tell you, this is a knockout list of prescriptions. So if they're taking a certain medication that's on this list, it'll tell you decline, you know, this is not acceptable medication. You'll know if you need to direct them another direction to another company, or if you can follow through with the voice application. And anyone that has had 3 lapse certificates with Royal Neighbors, I've been doing this, you've heard of, tons and tons, thousands of clients. I've yet to run into someone who has 3 lapse certificates with Royal Neighbors, but if you do have someone, which means they've taken out coverage, let it go, taken it out again, let it go, taken it out again and let it go. Well, unfortunately, the 4th time, Royal Neighbors is, hey, you've exceeded the amount of coverages that you're allowed to use with us. So again, you'll rarely will you run into that. Now, use the point of sale worksheet to ensure your phone interview is completed as efficiently as possible, because this point of sale worksheet, again, is going to allow you to qualify the client for the product. So you're not getting halfway through the phone call and the representative on the phone asks your client a medical question that you didn't ask your client to begin with, and then all of a sudden you find out that they're not eligible for that product. Then at that point, they're going to tell them you're not eligible for this product. So anything you say after that's not going to work. So by you doing your due diligence initially, qualifying them, making sure they're qualified for the product by simply going over the medical questions. Okay, Mrs. Client, we're going to go through a few medical questions. This is going to help us direct you to the company that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, if you will. Everybody wants to pay the best price. No one wants to pay more for their coverage than they have to, and this is going to direct us accordingly. So again, do the worksheet, review all the medications on the prescription indicator list, provide them the important information form, and then call into the company. Now, the number's on the form, on the information form. If not, it's right there. You call 800-627-4762, hit option 1, and then they're going to go right into it. Now, this is a copy of the point of sale worksheet. This is an example copy. For those of you that have access to the back office of the website, to the training library, this is available in the back office of the website, so you can see, how to fill this out thoroughly. Now, again, this is just a point of sale worksheet. This is not going to be turned into Royal Neighbors. This is for your records. This is for you to gather the information so you can complete the phone application thoroughly. Now, you'll see here, of course, you'll get their name here in the middle, their proposed insured. Well, let me start at the beginning, the state that you're calling from, the type of identification that you view to verify their ID, whether it's a driver's license, state ID, passport, or whatever type of ID, and then, of course, their information. So when you call in, you'll have this information readily available for the interviewer right over the phone. If they're a U.S. citizen, for California or Florida only. If they have other insurance, replacements or anything like that. Here, the beneficiary, you'll put the beneficiary's name, of course, date of birth, relationship, and the amount that they're set to receive. So if they have multiple beneficiaries, just mark them accordingly. And pretty basic. And then, now, the plan information. So if it's simplified issue whole life, in this case, it's for $12,000. Remember, we always want them to get the accelerated benefit rider because there's no cost to that. Here, the premium quoted, $60 a month. So for this client, it's $60 a month to get the $12,000 worth of coverage. If this client is a tobacco user, in this case this person is, EFT information, checking, electronic payment only, monthly. The payment withdrawal date, you can elect the day, or this is pretty handy right here. Now keep in mind, you may run into situations where your client's receiving their Social Security benefit payments on a certain day of the month. So you have the option to select the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month. And, so again, this will allow them to set up the draft date on the day that they receive that deposit. The above EFT withdrawal date is already passed. The draft will occur the next month. Otherwise, advise your client that the draft will occur this month. So if you're doing this on the 11th and you mark the 15th as the draft date, it's going to draft on the 15th, 4 days later. So, let your clients know of that. And then, of course, the routing and account number here so you can have that information readily available. The physician's name. Every once in a while you may run into someone who's super healthy. I don't have a doctor. Well, when was the last time you've been to a clinic? Anything. Get some type of information here. Well, I've never been to the doctor. Okay, well, where were you born? They have to have some kind of doctor's information here. You want to give that information, have that information available. All the medications, you want to list the medications here Now, why do you want to do that? So you can cross-reference that with the prescription indicator list. And then, of course, you got the medical questions here. Now, what's great, I can easily say the app is the map. And the reason I say that right here, oh, let me go back. If any answer to question 2 through 7 is yes, the proposed insured is not eligible for any coverage. So, simply put, if you have to answer yes to any of these questions, then that's the point in time where you let the client know, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Client, this is what you qualify for. Remember, we're not going to tell them, oh, you don't qualify for this, but here, let me find another option for you. You're going to, again, this is what you qualify for, and then you're going to explain to them the benefit of the graded benefit and how that can protect them. Now, if they happen to qualify for the graded benefit with Royal Neighbors, again, you're going to do the same thing. If questions 8 or 9 is yes, only graded death benefits available. So they've answered no through here, but yet they got a yes in either 8 or 9. That means they're eligible for the graded death benefit product. So again, if any of these questions 2 through 7 are answered yes, they're not eligible for either product. If you get all no's 2 through 7 and then a yes in 8 or 9, then they're eligible for the graded death benefit. If you get all no's here, then they're eligible for the immediate death benefit product. Now, if you're looking at these questions, again, they're looking for major medical conditions. You know, hospitalization, nursing, hospice, you know, AIDS, HIV, congestive heart failure, you know, stroke, aneurysm, cardiomyopathy. You know, any of these, all of these are in most cases a major medical challenge. You know, stroke. Now look here though, you still have 24 months. So if it's been over 24 months, they still qualify. You know, angina, heart attacks. You know, so if someone's had a heart attack just over 2 years, they still qualify. You know, don't let them think that they do not qualify. You know, emphysema, you know, all these conditions here, you're thinking, gosh, they have to answer no to all of that? Well, if you read the questions, you know, these are pretty, you know, major medical challenges. So, again, in most cases, you're going to get all no's, and you're going to be able to get that client covered with that immediate death benefit. Now, you know, basically, you've qualified the client. You've gone through the point of sale worksheet. So when you call in, again, you'll call in 866-281-9228 for the interview. And I'm saying this is the interview number. The previous number that I gave you was for the underwriting number if you need help or assistance. But this number here is the actual interview line, 866-281-9228. And again, times from 8 to 9 and from 8 to 2 on Saturday. Now, what you can expect, the interview will ask you your name and Royal Neighbors agent number. This is always required. They're going to ask you to provide the information that you gathered on the point of sale worksheet. So you're going to give them all the client's information. They're going to verify that you provided the applicant with the important information form. Remember, you want to keep copies of those with you to give to them, to hand to them, or a draft or a template set up in your email to email to them. Ask if you agree with the voice signature and collect your voice signature. So, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, do you agree with the voice signature today in the voice application? Yes, I do. Okay, we need your voice signature saying I agree, and you can do that. Now, what the applicant can expect, and I'll let them know. You know, they're pretty much going to ask you the same medical questions. It's going to be a little bit repetitive. You know, don't worry about that. So it's just the process. They just want to verify everything, and you know, they're going to record the call, and the interviewer will let them know that. So when you hand the phone, so they've asked you all of these questions, and now they ask you to hand. Okay, will you please hand the phone to the client? Now this is an important tip. Don't coach the client through the process because they'll terminate the call immediately. You know, so again, advise the client the call is being recorded. They're going to verify their name, address, and social, all the information that you've given them. They're going to verify that. They're going to obtain a voice signature and authorization to pull the MIB report and other information. For those of you that do not know, MIB is Medical Information Bureau. That's like a health report, kind of like your credit report, except you know, it's a Medical Information Bureau. Ask the medical questions. So again, they're going to ask them the same medical questions that you just asked them. And then they're going to review the prescription profile. So they're going to pull a prescription check, which means they're going to know what prescriptions they've been prescribed. So if you've done your due diligence, there's not any surprises here. And an MIB report. So anything that comes up off of the prescription or MIB, they may ask them additional questions. then they're going to have them do the voice signature. Now, the interview will advise you if the applicant is approved, declined, or needs to be referred to the home office for additional review. More than 75% of the time, you're going to get a decision immediately. If it's deferred to the home office, that means they may need to get additional information from a doctor or an APS or something like that. Not a big deal, or maybe additional information came up that they need to clarify, or whatever the case. But if it's approved, then the certificate will be issued pretty much immediately. If it's before a certain time in the day, I think it's before 2 or 3, it's issued that day. If it's after that, it's issued the following day, and commissions are paid within 48 hours. Now, you need to complete and leave the replacement form with the client. If for some reason for NAIC states, the forms can be signed verbally. Texas is one of those states. Most states are NAIC states, but if you happen to be in a state that's not, then you'll need to keep copies of the replacement forms. And you do not need to fax them into the home office for NAIC states. Again, they can be signed verbally. You just need to give them copies of it. But if they are non-NAIC states, then you'll need to get those replacement form, and you'll still need to get them signed and have them faxed and mailed in to complete the application process. But again, most states are NAIC states, so you can do that verbally over the phone. Now, I want to thank you for attending the webinar for today. Again, you have the handouts that are available, the agent guide, the point of sale worksheet, the client brochure. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact Rural Neighbors. You can contact myself, my email, J. Martinez at Summit Alliance Final Expense, or Jason at SummitAllianceAdvantage.com. And note, again, you can obtain all this information by going to Rural Neighbors' website, agent.ruralneighbors.org. Many of you have probably, if you're contracted with them, have received the welcome email from them. That email has this web address. It has the instructions on how to log in for the first time. I highly recommend to go to their website, navigate, get familiar with the website. That way you can follow up on your business. You can order materials. If you want to have access to the brochures without having to print them, you can order those directly from the carrier. So order materials, get all of that stuff put in place, and take advantage of the resources that are available. Again, I want to thank you for attending today's training webinar on the Simplified Issue Whole Life Product with Rural Neighbors. On behalf of Summit Alliance Advantage and the team, this is Jason Martinez signing off.